Hello everybody and welcome to Wine Passion TV. I'm Sam and with me today is a very special guest of mine. Hi kids! I'm with a very special guest. I'm with Mr. Sam Plunket of Plunkett-Fowles, and it's an absolute honour to have you on my TV show.
He's making it up. This is a good giggle being here.
Actually, come across it because I don't think you... That's it. Hang on. Hello. That's it. And so today, you don't have to crouch down.
You don't have to.
No, I think you're pretty right. Today we're looking at a range of Plunkett-Fowles wines. Now, not a lot of you international people won't know Plunkett-Fowles yet. Perhaps in the UK.
In the UK we have we're in Oddbins and we're on a website called Naked Wines.
Naked Wines. So I've worked with this fellow over a number of years. We worked together at Dookie College, where I was the winemaker for the University of Melbourne for a few years, and Sam used to consult with us. It's hot out here, I'm sweating like a pig, and we're looking at the 2008 Stone Dwellers Riesling. So, Mr. Plunkett, please run us through what we're tasting today.
Well, I think that the Strathbogies, if you're only allowed one white and one red, the white would be Riesling. So when they're young, they're perfumed and citrusy and spicy, and this is just starting to get that golden colour.
Yep. And
there are some of the honey on toast, or anyway, some of those tertiary mature flavours starting to develop.
one of those tertiary mature flavours that I sort of describe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is I call it, that toastiness, I call it phantom oak.
Yeah.
It's like a phantom oak. It's not really oak, it's never seen oak, but it gives that impression that it's been in oak. And I reckon I can start to smell the development on this 08 already.
Yeah, you're on the money. An old Riesling, many times you look at an old Riesling and just on the aroma you'll say, I swear this has been in barrel, but then you get it in your mouth and they're leaner and fresher acid, and I guess they don't have the creaminess or the roundness or the lacy texture of say Chardonnay that's been in oak.
Yep.
Unmistakably Riesling when it's in your mouth.
The fruit and the acid and everything, the whole mouthful, the whole bundle, the whole neat little package is just sublime in this white. Beautiful.
It is. It's intense.
Mm.
Right.
I'm just spitting, so don't be offended, guys. I can't swallow everything. Wine. 2008 Stone Dweller Chardonnay. What was 2000 like year as a vintage? 2008 like as a vintage?
2008 had its share of challenges. We've probably had a decade of hot, dry years. 2008, there was a smashing heat wave. Sugars really wanting to bounce up, and Chardonnay was interesting. It was like it recovered. There was this ugly hot spell, and then followed up with some rain. We picked this after a heat wave, and it's made, I think, a complex, and there's some. I reckon there's some. I don't like the word too much, minerally, but anyway, there's some complex flavours other than just simple fruits in there.
This Shardy reminds me of a Chablis style. It's not that. It's very stainless steely. Now, from what I'm led to believe, 30% new oak.
Yep.
I can't even taste it. 70% stainless steel.
Yeah.
Yep. It's that steely, minerally focused, very acidic Shardy it's just got that hint of got something on the back end that's probably oak complexity, but it's just subtle.
Yep.
But it is it's very flinty. It's
With these Stone Dwellers wines, we're really trying to express the variety and the region. So I think it's important that Chardonnay sees some time in oak, but we don't want the oak to overwhelm the flavour.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, it's that big hot year, and this is what Mother Nature's gifted us. So anyway, it's an expression of the place and the variety.
The place we're talking about is Strathbogie, which is it's Goulburn Valley, but it's the
Up in the hills.
Up in the hills, probably where the start of the Great Divide probably starts, the Strathbogie Ranges.
Yeah, it's an offshoot of the Great Divide. So we're vineyards about 500 metres above sea level.
Altitude.
Yeah.
Altitude.
And that's what makes it cool. But because we're north of the Divide, it's also dry. So unusual for us to have issues with mould.
Good.
We're lots of cool climate vineyards. They're cool and they're wet because they're on the coast and maritime.
Absolutely. This is the Stone Dwellers 2007 Shiraz. Now, again, correct me if I'm wrong. 07, a great year for winemakers, a shit year for the vignerons.
Well, again, see, we had 06 was okay, 07 hot and dry. A bit droughty, probably half the tons we normally pick, and there were some fires around, but did make these, because of the small tons and the heat, tended to make these big, powerful, quite concentrated wines.
Yep. Lower yield. You had more. The old saying. Let's cut it simple. The old saying in winemaking, less is more, was absolutely down to a T in 2007. Less volume, but you concentrated bunches of grapes, which will make a pretty damn good wine. Big, juicy, ripe, upfront, bold Shirazes, and this is a perfect example of a cooler climate Shiraz.
What do you think? Starting to show some meaty, some complex flavours in there.
It's funny. I was saying to Sam's one of his sales guys who works for him. I tasted this earlier today. First thing I smelt on this wine was the savoury meatiness. It had hints of like cured salami or sort of prosciutto type characters, which for me, that's just one of the hallmarks of a cooler climate Shiraz. And then the fruit comes through secondary afterwards, but it's got a nice savoury component, but also there's a nice hint of sweetness as well.
Yeah, well, I reckon that's a Strathbogie thing is to have pepper and spice and these aromatics, red fruit aromatics, and I reckon this is interesting because it is starting to show some of that meaty, and I like your smoked meat, cured meat, fermented meat thing.
Oh, it just reminds me of something. It reminds me of some of the Chapoutier high-end Rhone rep Shirazes that come out of the Rhone Valley from Michel Chapoutier. They're focused that cooler climate with that meatiness, and this is exactly what they're like. It's very much like a Rhone. An Australian Rhone.
Hey, and this is a terrible distraction. I see a bit of a guy called Matthew Apfel, and he's Chapoutier's winemaker in Australia. And some of the most outstanding wines I saw out of Vintage 010 was visiting the Heathcote Winery and seeing these inky, dark, concentrated things, but 13% alcohol, and a consistent theme through all of them was biodynamic vineyards. And we're not biodynamic, but gee, I see too many awesome, balanced, but concentrated and complex wines off biodynamic vineyards. So it's something that's tickling my interest at the moment.
Well, there you go. So look, watch this space because it's probably going to have a biodynamic organic vineyard in the next 5 years.
Well, we'll be big call work, but anyway, it has tickled my interest.
Oh, it's good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I'll let you introduce this one.
So this is 2008 The Rule Shiraz. This is, it'll be deep coloured and spicy and concentrated and perfumed, and actually perhaps we should have a bit of a taste before I rabbit on too much.
Go for it.
But that's real. Turn the dial up on intensity of aroma, and you do get the spicy fruit things, and there's almost a cordial-like concentration of primary fruit in there, and it's really pure, clean fruit. Probably not quite 100%, but certainly 80% or more of this wine spent time in brand new oak barrels. But you put your nose in it, and it absolutely carries all that oak.
Yep. So this is like some of your best fruit from your best vineyards. Swallows up the oak, so it's not showing all that richness and that goopiness of what you would find with some over oak Shirazes. The fruit just absorbs that oak, and it's just a background character. It's just your little bit of makeup. It's just your little bit of eyeliner to what is expression of pure fruit.
And here's just some interesting thoughts on this. You know, I was talking about these, the Riesling and Chardonnay 08 vintage big hot year. This is 08 big hot year. Normally our favourite Shiraz blocks are on these north-facing slopes, which in Australia in the New World means they get lots of sunlight. But in that big hot year, we ended up pulling back onto an almost south-facing, tucked back into the ranges, bit cooler to preserve that pretty spicy perfume. And into the winery, drained off some juice to concentrate the skin to juice ratio. And
Saunier, mate. Saunier.
Saunier, yep. And only half fill the fermenter so that the cap is quite shallow, easy to keep the skins and the fermenting wine homogenised to maximise extraction. And we, not quite a wild ferment, but just a really low rate of yeast. So it takes a long time for the ferment to get up and running. Yep. And again, that gives the skins plenty of time to be in contact with the juice. I reckon this is awesome wine, and actually this is the wine I'm ridiculously proud of, because out of a challenging year, it's intense and concentrated, and it's got the Strathbogie perfume, and it's balanced.
I don't know what to say, but he's pretty much covered it all. This is an exceptional wine, and what is it? $35-40 a bottle retail.
Yep, $40.
I'll put the website on display on this video, so you can visit the website. I highly recommend that you visit, have a look, and get your hands on some of these wines. They are readily available across Australia, most of them.
Yeah, certainly.
Victoria, anyway.
Yeah, Victoria, Melbourne.